Picture this. Me, Liam, and my ex, Chloe, chained together at the wrist, forced into the closest proximity imaginable. Not for a few hours, not even for a weekend, but for an entire month. Just the two of us, side by side. Every waking moment, every awkward silence, every shared breath. Why? For a shot at $250,000. That's $250,000, life-changing money, the kind that makes you question your limits and your sanity. Here's the backstory. Chloe and I dated for 4 years. We were inseparable, or so we thought. Then, 3 years ago, we broke up. It wasn't dramatic, just a slow drift apart. Since then, we'd barely exchanged a text, let alone a real conversation. Out of the blue, a TV producer calls. The pitch? Spend 30 days chained at the wrist with your ex. Complete daily tasks, live together, and every few days, the chain gets shorter, pulling you closer, literally and figuratively. We'd have to cook, clean, and navigate every mundane detail of life as a team, all while tethered together. Imagine trying to do laundry, or even just make coffee, with someone you haven't spoken to in years, while a steel chain tugs at your wrist. But if we made it, if we survived the full 30 days, we'd split $250,000. That's $125,000 each, enough to pay off debts, travel, or start over. At first, it sounded like a prank. Our friends laughed, our families thought we were crazy, but the money was real, and so was the challenge. And, honestly, so was our curiosity. What would happen if we put our past to the ultimate test? After a few nervous phone calls, Chloe and I both said yes. Maybe it was the money, maybe it was unfinished business, or maybe we just wanted to prove something, to ourselves, or to each other. Now, here we are, stepping into a house rigged with cameras in every corner. There's nowhere to hide, no private moments, just one kitchen, one bedroom, one bathroom, and a 10-foot steel chain connecting us at the wrist. The space is small, the chain is heavy, and the reality is starting to sink in. Every move we make, every word we say, is being watched and recorded. The rules are simple, but brutal. Stay connected at all times, complete the daily tasks, and survive as the chain shrinks, forcing us closer together. No exceptions, no loopholes. The first clink of the chain was surreal. It was cold, heavy, and final. Suddenly, our past wasn't just emotional baggage. It was a physical weight, pulling at our wrists. We hadn't had a real conversation in years, and now we were forced to share every moment, every awkward silence, every uncomfortable truth. There was no escape, no privacy, just us, our history, and a steel chain. Even the simplest things, using the bathroom, getting dressed, trying to sleep, became a negotiation. Every routine was a reminder of how much had changed and how much we still didn't know about each other. This wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about surviving 30 days with the ghost of our relationship rattling between us, testing our patience, our boundaries, and maybe even our hearts. The chain wasn't just metal. It was a symbol of everything we'd left unresolved. Every argument, every laugh, every memory was suddenly right there, between us. The house felt less like a home and more like a social experiment. We were the lab rats, and the world was watching to see if we'd crack, or if we'd find a way to make it work. Could we do it? Could we survive 30 days chained together, with our past and our future hanging in the balance? We were about to find out. The cameras rolled, the chain locked, and our bizarre journey began. There was no turning back. We exchanged a look. Equal parts fear, excitement, and disbelief. What had we gotten ourselves into? Was this a mistake, or the start of something we couldn't predict? The real challenge wasn't just the chain. It was facing everything we'd left unsaid, every unresolved feeling, every question we'd avoided for years. But for $125,000 each, we were willing to try. Maybe we'd find closure, maybe we'd find forgiveness, or maybe we'd just survive and walk away richer. The countdown started. 30 days. One chain, 2 exes, no escape. Let the games begin. The first day was pure, unfiltered awkwardness. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and instantly wish you could disappear? Multiply that by 10 and you'll get close to what we felt. Making coffee while Chloe did yoga? It was a disaster waiting to happen. I tried to reach for the sugar, she stretched for a pose, and suddenly the chain yanked us both off balance. Coffee spilled, yoga mat crumpled, and we just stared at each other, silently blaming the chain, and maybe each other. The bathroom situation was even worse. No privacy, just this weird system we invented, one of us facing the wall with headphones blasting music, the other trying to pretend none of this was happening. It was like a bizarre trust exercise, except neither of us signed up for it. Sleeping? Forget it. We built a pillow wall, hoping for some kind of boundary, but the chain had other plans. Every time one of us moved, the other got yanked awake. It was like being in a three-legged race that never ended. Lunch was total chaos. Her salad, my sandwich, and a chain that seemed determined to knock everything over. We tried to coordinate, but it was like a slapstick comedy routine, with lettuce flying and bread landing on the floor. We kept bumping into each other, tripping over shoes, and getting tangled up in the narrow hallway. Every step was a negotiation, every turn a potential disaster. It honestly felt like we were learning to dance with someone you barely remembered, except the music was just the clinking of the chain and our own frustrated sighs. But then, right in the middle of all the mess, something unexpected happened. We started laughing, not just a little giggle, but real, uncontrollable laughter. It was ridiculous, and we both knew it. For a moment, it felt like old times, just a much weirder, more complicated version. There was nostalgia in the chaos, a reminder of why we ever got along in the first place. There was no storming off, no dramatic exits, just us and the chain. We were stuck, forced to face every little annoyance head-on. Every little thing became a negotiation. Who got to use the bathroom first? Who picked the playlist? Even who got the last clean mug? Suddenly, the smallest decisions felt like high-stakes diplomacy. We realized pretty quickly, this was going to be way harder than we thought. Our patience was tested at every turn, and there was no escape. But that laughter? It was the first crack in the ice, the tiniest sign that maybe, just maybe, we could get through this without losing our minds. Maybe, just maybe, we could survive this experiment, or at least come out the other side with a story worth telling. Or, if nothing else, at least not kill each other trying. And honestly, on day one, that felt like a win. Day 5. Buzzers blare, and our chain shrinks to 8 feet. Suddenly, personal space is gone. Every move requires coordination. Every annoyance is magnified. Socks on the floor, humming, old habits, everything's amplified. Showering is now a two-person operation. The tension builds, and the house feels smaller by the hour. By day 10, the chain is 6 feet. We're practically on top of each other, forced to move in sync. Claustrophobia sets in. The prize money feels far away. We wonder, can we really make it to the end? The chain is shrinking, and so is our patience. But quitting isn't an option, not yet. We needed structure, so we made rules. Quiet hours, TV turns, and, most importantly, no breakup talk. Of course, we broke that rule almost immediately. Cooking dinner triggered memories, and suddenly, we were talking about the past. It wasn't angry, just honest. We admitted our mistakes, things we never said before. It didn't fix everything, but it helped. We started working as a team, anticipating each other's needs. The chain forced us to communicate, and slowly, we began to reconnect. Not as a couple, but as partners in this challenge. The tension eased, just a little. Maybe we could actually do this. Just as we found our rhythm, the arguments returned. The smallest things, like milk or furniture assembly, became battlegrounds. We couldn't storm off, so we had to talk it out. After each fight, we learned to apologize, to compromise. The real enemy wasn't each other, it was the situation. Gradually, we stopped fighting against each other and started fighting for each other. We laughed at the absurdity, teamed up against the daily challenges, and found a strange new alliance. We were no longer just exes, we were partners. The chain forced us to face our issues, and somehow, it made us stronger. Every argument ended with a truce. We learned to let go, to forgive, and to move forward. The challenge was changing us. We were becoming a team. By week 3, the chain had shrunk to just 4 feet, making every movement a challenge. That's when the producers threw in a wild twist. 2 gleaming Teslas, one red and one blue, parked right outside. The offer was simple but brutal. Take a Tesla and walk away, or stay chained together and keep fighting for the grand prize. The temptation was real. The cars looked incredible. A ticket to instant freedom and luxury. We sat on our tiny couch for hours, weighing our options. The idea of driving off in a brand new Tesla was almost too good to pass up. But we kept coming back to the reason we started this challenge in the first place. Was it about the money, the experience, or proving something to ourselves and each other? The conversation got deep, and for the first time, we really questioned what we valued most. In the end, after a lot of soul searching, we decided to stay. Walking away would have been easy, but we wanted to see this through together. That decision changed everything. It was a turning point. We realized we were truly in this together, no matter how tough it got. To celebrate our choice, we decided to rearrange the furniture. It sounded simple, but with only 4 feet of chain between us, it turned into a hilarious disaster. Every step was a struggle, every turn, a negotiation. We bumped into walls, got tangled in the chain, and ended up collapsing on the floor, laughing until we cried. It was chaos, but it was our chaos. Somehow we managed to pull it off. The new layout actually worked, and so did we. It felt like we'd conquered something huge, even if it was just a couch. That small victory meant everything. It was proof that we could tackle problems together, no matter how ridiculous or difficult. We learned that teamwork wasn't just about big decisions. It was about the little moments, the daily challenges, and finding ways to laugh through the struggle. The Teslas were still out there, shining and tempting us every time we looked out the window. But we knew we'd made the right choice. Teamwork and trust had won out over instant gratification. We were closer than ever, literally and figuratively. The chain might have kept us physically together, but our decision kept us emotionally connected. With every day, the end of the challenge felt a little closer. We could almost see the finish line, and hope started to replace frustration. All we had to do was hold on, just a little bit longer. Together, we knew we could make it. The final week, and we'd become a well-oiled machine. Morning routines, silent communication, and genuine support replaced the awkwardness. When one of us struggled, the other stepped up. We shared stories, music, and laughter. The romance was gone, but friendship grew in its place. We forgave each other and ourselves. The chain felt less like a prison, more like a reminder of what we'd overcome. We weren't just surviving, we were helping each other reach the finish line. The goal was no longer just the money, it was about making sure we both made it together. Day 30. We made it. The final twist. 2 keys, one for each of us. Use your key, take all the money, and the other gets nothing. Or wait 10 minutes and split the prize. The ultimate test. Betrayal or trust. We sat in silence, the weight of the decision heavy between us. The temptation was real, but so was everything we'd rebuilt. Could we really betray each other after all this? The answer was clear. We pushed the box away. 10 minutes passed, and the buzzer sounded. We chose to share. The handcuffs clicked open. We were free, together. The money was ours, but so was something more valuable. We'd proven we could trust each other again. The challenge was over, but our story wasn't. Free at last, we realized how much we'd changed. Communication, forgiveness, and teamwork. Those were the real prizes. We learned to see each other and ourselves in a new light. The chain forced us to talk, to listen, to forgive. We weren't perfect, but we were better. We left with $125,000 each, and a renewed friendship. We're not getting back together, but we're good friends now. The experience was absurd, exhausting, and unforgettable. We built something new, not by recreating the past, but by facing the present together. And next time, separate rooms for sure.